Dick Girardi and I talked with Bill Raftery on Thursday night. And I thought Raf summed it up perfectly to us. He says, guys, he said, Steve, Dick, I'm telling you, every time I watch the Penn State video, he said, there's like 6 or 7 minutes where they play just terrific basketball, and then they get sideways.
Uh-huh.
He says, every game I've watched of them, he says, there'll be 6 or 7 minutes and a half, and not in the game, but in a half.
Sure.
He said, they'll play 6 or 7 minutes, like, holy cow, wow. And then they can't sustain it. That was yesterday's game. They closed out the first half at a 10-2 run. Okay, so they take a 4-point deficit and turn it into a 4-point lead at halftime. They start out the second half on a 10-2 run. That's great. They're up a dozen. And then they start missing free throws.
Free throws, absolutely.
And this has been, oddly enough, actually a really good free throw shooting team, especially the last month. They've gone from like 72% up over 75% at the line because they've been really good at the line. And when you miss 2 1-and-1s, that's a killer. Because that's a potential 4 points
4 point
off
swing.
the board.
Sure.
When you get a technical foul on a flagrant, and unfortunately, I mean, I don't understand how this stuff happens. Tom Stewart goes to the line. He's about ready to shoot, and they make an announcement on the foul while he's shooting. Now, I realize that when you're on the road, there's like yelling, screaming, the whole thing, blah, 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 blah. But
yeah, you don't speak.
Not in your own building. Like, you can't do that. Let him shoot. Okay? And he missed that shot. Then he came up and was quiet. He hit the next one. I realize on the road they're like, waiting, all
You're gonna have to answer,
sure. Crazy. I mean, you do that at home games, except you do it for Penn State. You're kind of I don't understand your thought process. You have money on the games, don't you?
No.
No.
No, I'd be in a world of trouble. They'd be taking me out of halfway through the show.
The biggest shot of the game was one of the worst shots of the game. Arenas, who had a great game against Indiana, I think he had 29, got out to a little bit of a slow start yesterday, and then he hit stride. Well, he takes a 3 late in the game. And it's not a good shot. And it's a line drive. And look, you've done over 1,300 games. You kind of get a feel as to what the ball's probably going to do. I expected it, because it was such a bad shot, I expected it to hit the rim and go down. And the question was going to be like, doing that, who'd then get the rebound? It hit the rim, and instead of going down, it popped up and rolled over. I go, you got to be kidding me. And again, it's one of those, when I was talking about the Penn State-Indiana football game, when that ball got deflected at the line of scrimmage on second down, I said, if you're going well, the ball drops right into the hands of Amari Campbell. When you're not going well, which Penn State wasn't at the time, your linebacker Campbell will stumble trying to get back to it and can't quite get in, and harmlessly hits the ground.
Sure.
Well, when you're going well, that shot hits the rim and goes straight down like you think it's going to. When you're not going well, it pops in the air and it falls through.
Yeah.
Then when you get to the last play.
I think you could say the same about the last shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get to the last play, though. They do run exactly what Dick and I outlined they would run. I said, Dick says, we know Arenas is going to get the ball, and they came out. And they lined him up on the low block. I said, well, Dick, you can see what they're going to do, because they had the 2 big guys at the elbow. Okay? Well, the 2 big guys in the elbow are not going to get the ball. Yeah. Right? You could tell he was going to come out, and we explained this before the play started. He said he's going to come out, he's going to get to the top of the key, get to the wing, eventually he'll get the ball, he'll go one-on-one and go. Penn State is supposed to switch on it. Remember, USC had called a timeout. So Penn State in its timeout, Mike asked, this is what we're going to do. He's going to, they knew what USC was going to run, and they knew who was going to get it. And they wanted Freddie to switch out, and I'm not going to say with who because it's not fair. And the switch never happened. Now, even if the switch happened, he may still make the shot.
Yeah.
But it's not what... I mean, that's the frustrating part.
Yeah.
I mean, that's frustrating when the coaches coach it up right. There's another big element in there. Is the coaches coach it up right, and the players have got to play it right. And it's easy to sit there and blame the coaches because, again, I've always talked forever about the simplicity of, well, it's the scheme, and you don't know what the scheme is. I mean, if you really know what the scheme is, I'd like to hear a tutorial as to what you think the scheme is. I'm talking about football, basketball. All right? And it's coaching. I can't believe it's coaching. It's play calling. Like, oh, man. Okay. What do I always say all the time? What's the biggest element of the play? Execution.
Execution. Mm-hmm.
Execution means everything. Well, the coaches should have... You don't think they've gone over this? You don't think the coaches have gone over this in practice?
Yeah.
Right? Now, a guy
Absolutely.
did say to me kiddingly yesterday, I'm talking about kiddingly, because he was kidding when he said it. Probably should have worked on free throws. And he laughed. He goes, you know what I mean. I said, yeah, I know what you mean. Right? You don't think they don't shoot free throws every day in practice? Of course. That's why their free throw shooting is improved. But it's just, oh well. And that's just another hard one, because what's happening is I see it happening, and they're not quite getting the result, but I see it happening. Young teams begin to start to really play well, and the first sign of it is at home. Well, you see what they're doing at home. At home, they're playing, they beat Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
They had USC on the brink. They had Michigan on the brink.
Well,
they had Michigan State on the brink. Right? Those are all at home. Young teams do that at home. It's on the road where they struggle. And it takes longer for them to find their footing on the road. And I mean, the problem is you're not getting results. I mean, you're not getting results, and that hurts. And you've got a lot of people complaining right now, and I understand, because you want to win. You want to win, so I completely understand why people are complaining, because you want to win. And you don't think I want to sit there and do a winning post-game show? Of course I do. It's exponentially more fun, and broadcasting games where the team you're broadcasting for wins is exponentially more fun. So believe me. I mean, I'm a long-suffering fan. I broadcast these games longer than most of you people have watched. I mean, nobody, and I've been there for all of them. I mean, 44 years worth, all of them, home and away, long trips out, long trips back. And so believe me, I know that you want them to win badly. I mean, imagine how we feel.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how the coaches feel. Imagine how the players feel. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Catch the latest from me on the 7 Mountain Sports YouTube page. Find clips of the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching up 7 Mountain Sports.